I just realized that I don't have a video on how to feng shui the living room yet, which is one of the most important rooms in the house. You spend the most time in your bedroom, but probably the second most used room in the house is the living room, and your whole family uses it. So I'm going to go over probably about 10 guidelines that you want to apply to your living room as far as feng shui is concerned that don't necessarily require the Bagua Map, but if you stay towards the end, I'll talk you through how to apply the Bagua Map to your living room and how to incorporate the Bagua Map and the elements that go along with it. I'm Corinne. I'm a certified feng shui consultant, and in this video, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about how to feng shui your living room. Number one is the command position. Marie Diamond calls it the power position, which is basically that you can see the main entrance into the room. So you want your main seating, which is most likely your sofa, to be able to face the entrance so that nobody can sneak up on you, or you can see all the comings and goings that are happening in that room. If you have a layout where that isn't possible, what you'll want to do is you'll want to put like a console table behind the sofa, or some tall plants, a tall plant, maybe a curtain. If it's a window, you want a really thick curtain that you can close so that you have that supported feeling. Okay, the next one is to have the sofa against a solid wall. I know that interior designers will say float the furniture, and if you want to float the furniture, go back to the putting the console table or plants behind your sofa to give you that supported feeling. But yes, in feng shui, you want your sofa against a solid wall. I have about 3 or 4 inches between my wall and my my sofa, basically because I want to be able to reach back there and plug things in and unplug them easily without having to like strain or move furniture. The third rule is you want to promote flow with your layout without blocking any pathways. I like to keep, if possible, 2 to 3 feet in pathways and walkways. We have this massive sofa, and it's probably too big for the living room. So trying to make it work in our small living room has been difficult, especially when my husband has this chair that he loves, this recliner chair. I always think of Fraser's dad. He had that chair that he loved, and it was just this big, huge piece of furniture. And so it's always a work in progress trying to get the flow right in that room. Function is important, and my husband loves that chair, so we got to make it work. Okay, number 4, you want a grounded layout. The most popular way to create a grounded layout is with an area rug where all the furniture sits on top of that area rug, or at least the front legs of each piece of furniture sits on top of that area rug. Another way is to have furniture groupings, or like to use a coffee table to be like the center of the seating area. Number 5 is you want warm, inviting lighting. You don't want the harsh overhead lighting to be your main lighting. Sometimes you need that if you're like working on a project, or deep cleaning the carpet or something, but what you want is soft, warm, layered lighting. Number 6 is keep the clutter cleared. Of course, that's always on my list. Clutter blocks energy, but if it's too empty, that minimalist look where everything is white, then it feels too cold. It feels like a hospital. It doesn't feel warm and cozy. But the key is to have items that you love and that mean something to you, but not a lot of junk that you don't need, or you don't use, you don't love. You want to get rid of those things. And number 7 is to be mindful with your mirrors. So anything that your mirror reflects doubles. So if your mirror reflects clutter or mess, or maybe if there's like a picture of somebody that it brings up bad memories, then that energy doubles. So be mindful what your mirror reflects. I like for my mirror to reflect nature. I have these pictures of our trip to Yosemite that are reflecting through our mirror, and I also have a plant hanging right there. So where I sit on the sofa, that's what I see in the reflection of the mirror. Number 8, that you don't want items that bring up negative feelings or negative emotions, negative memories. If you have anything like that, then I suggest removing it, getting rid of it, giving it away. You don't want that in your space. So you only want the items that uplift you, help you feel grounded, supported, loved. Okay, number 9 is clocks. I covered in a previous video that clocks that don't work are negative, stagnant energy. And so you don't want a clock that doesn't work. The ideal clock is a round clock, but nothing that you don't want it to be the main focal point in your living room, because that should not be our priority is the time, because we want to be able to relax. So a round clock that kind of fits with the vibe of your living room but doesn't overwhelm the space. One of the questions that I feel gets asked a lot is, where's the best place to put family photos, especially if you're doing like a gallery wall? So there are 2 places. One is the east wall, which is leading me into the Bagua map, and I'll go over that next. So the east wall in your living room, east is the family health community sector. So you want that's a good place for your family photos to go. That's a wood sector, so wood frames would be nice. Another good placement if you don't want to go by the Bagua map is like facing the windows, because all the positive energy that comes in through the windows, hitting the family members is very positive energy. So regardless of whether or not you use the Bagua map, that's a good place to put your family photos. So the living room is probably the ideal place to put family photos. Another good place is the hallway, but you don't want them like in a bedroom or a bathroom. If you do put them in a bedroom, keep them minimal and keep them very subtle. You don't want them to overwhelm the space. Okay, so if you hung in this long, I'm going to go over how to apply the Bagua map to your living room. I always say to get the best direction on your house is to step outside your front door to get it, because inside the electronics can kind of mess with your compass. And so I always get a clearer reading when I step outside the front door. But, if you're just going for a general, north, south, east, west kind of direction, doing it indoors is fine. Once you get the direction of your home and you place the Bagua map over your living room based on the cardinal direction that your home faces, the north sector, this is your career sector, career and life path, that's the water sector. So the north would be an excellent place for like a water fountain or a fish tank, because that's the water sector. Other good sectors for water features would be the southeast sector, which is your money sector, because water represents abundance and money and flow. So that would be a good area for that. And then you could also put it in the east, which is also wood, because water supports wood. That's your family sector. So if you have a water feature, I recommend the north, the east, or the southeast sector. Your fire sector is the south. So whether that's like a fireplace or candles or just lighting, that would be a nice place to enhance that warm fire energy. The wood sectors, like I mentioned earlier, are the east and the southeast, and wood is represented by plants. So those are really good places to place plants. And if you have windows, like the southeast window is an excellent spot for plants, because they get so much sun there. Okay, there's 3 sectors for earth. That would be the southwest, the center, and the northeast. All those sectors are great for whether it's like ceramics or crystals. And then, of course, you have the metal sectors, which are the northwest and the west. So, you know, like a picture frame or candle holders. So in Feng Shui, you want to have a balance of all 5 energies. And, you know, if you don't have plants or a fish tank or the actual element to represent that sector of your living room, you could always use the colors. So the wood color, main color is green. The earth colors are yellow and brown, or like any like tan or terracotta in there, any earth colors like that. Metal colors are white, gold, silver, etc. I think you could even use gray and black in that, in the metal sectors. Watercolors are dark blue and black typically, but you could even use light blue. And fire colors are red and orange. I have some other videos that you can check out if you want more detail, like how to apply color, where to apply certain colors. I have a video just on that, and I have a video on the elements and how they work, because some elements destroy other elements and some elements enhance other elements. So you can check out my video on elements. And then I also have a video that you can check out on how to apply the Bagua Map to your space if you have any more questions on that. And that goes into much more depth and much more detail. So that's my very brief explanation on how to apply Feng Shui to your living room. I hope you got something from this video. If you did, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. If you have any questions, write them in the comments below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.